I guess it's good afternoon.
Hi, everybody.
I know we don't have a whole lot of people on right now, but
Welcome.
I just saw something interesting. I was still streaming I was streaming over from where we were streaming the live feeds from,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw a sheriff or a deputy walking the Arizona audit floor.
Really?
Yeah,
Is it a good thing or bad thing?
I'm proud. Just listen. You don't have to see.
All right. Hi, Proud. Be careful.
So, yes, I actually have both YouTube channels
Mm.
going.
Not-
So we'll see how many people show up and comment and all that. I'm gonna shoot a message. Are you gonna shoot a message out
Yeah,
on?
I'll jump on Signal because I haven't gotten a Twitch notification yet, so I'm guessing they're not sure.
Hello from Missouri. So yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of an update because I think I owe an explanation to people because I thought it was going to be. I thought we were all set and we were gonna have that thing launched today at noon, and I got an email that said, sorry, that ain't going to happen. So we basically were told that we have to submit it to Apple again for the second time. Hello, Maybell Kelly, Kalamazoo Prepper, Okie Gal. Hopefully your dad's doing all right, Okie. Jack Johnson. I don't know. I probably butchered it. But
Exactly.
so we are one thing that we did run into is they kicked it out because there was too much content on there for them to audit correctly and make sure that it's doing what it says it's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
They had to have 100% original content, which means Patriot News Network content. That's it.
Wow.
So we had to have everybody do some things, make things not visible, because the second you start making it look like it's a social platform, they get very, very squeamish about even accepting it on their platform. On the iOS side, it could take up to 3 weeks. So yeah, I am very disappointed, but Android, they kicked it out first. Now they've already basically approved it. Now it's just pushing it out to the actual the Google Play Store. So
the Android wheels are turning. It's just the Apple wheels that are stuck.
well, we just made our submission to Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Submission.
Uh-huh.
And their audit can take up to 3 weeks.
Okay.
So
Did the
Android's just a week, up to a week.
Okay, and did they require that you empty the content and do it as well?
No, it's just an iOS thing.
Okay.
Which is why it's so disappointing, because if it is 100% all across the board, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Right.
I mean, it's just a step that we have to complete.
Right.
But because it's a iOS thing, it kind of drives it home a little bit worse.
Because Android has already demonstrated that it can be done even with the content on there.
Yeah.
And iOS likes to represent that they're a better, more efficient.
Welcome, Daniel. I think
higher-
this is the first time I've actually seen you pop in on the live, but yes, is it available to download for Android right now? I have not gotten an email saying it's been approved, but it could. As soon as I have that email, I will push out a notification for everybody on the platforms that we're streaming on that it is available. But it's very, very quickly, guys, we will be up and running with our own app, and everything from fullstream.live we'll be able to stream right through there, and then we can't be taken down.
And Proud, are you still driving?
Yes, she is, and she knows better. But yeah, Daniel, I'll reach out to you. I'm going to reach out to you after we get done here. And quite honestly, guys, it definitely will be. Yeah, I already have the APK, but we want to make sure that, because I had to go in and pay to set up a developer's account through Android and iOS. Not that big of a deal, but the developer sent over a prepackaged APK for that. So now it's just waiting. And if nothing else, I'll just put a download. If we can't get it, I'm going to figure out a way to actually download it to iOS and actually install it as just an app without having to go through the app store. I'm playing with a couple different ideas, so we'll see what comes of it. But yeah, I mean, with it looking just almost identical to YouTube, same feel. I mean, everybody's gonna recognize it as soon as they open it up. It's red. It has a familiar YouTube feel to it. You're gonna have your home screen, your trending, your live button, your people who have subscribed to you. You can go and view their content, and then your playlist, things of that nature. It'll all be there. So
be careful, Proud.
We are doing our very best to make sure that we have continuity across the board. Is it good?
It's okay, so it's good. It's just that I don't know if you can you see this? I decided to try my hand at drying tomatoes, making tomato chips this year. And I did. They're good, but they're incredibly tart and flavorful. It's like, holy crap, there's a lot of flavor in there. And every now and then, because they're the little tart cherry tomatoes, every now and then it just it's kind of like eating a lemon. But I keep eating them.
So yeah, So Patriot Lady, I've been on, but I actually was able to get into. I was actually able to get into my regular YouTube account, so I've been streaming over there and not adding things in. But now that I was thinking about it, I was like, wait a second, there's probably some people that don't even know where I'm at. So yeah. But fullstream.live will be up and ready for people very quickly. again, right now, the only reason we're making it to where people have to wait to post content and stuff like that is so we had the ability to get those apps in and get those into the Android and the iOS Play Store or in App Store. So as soon as those are through, we will be good to go. And then it's turn on the hatches and hold on to your shorts. But we've came a long way in 75 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I did hear from the developer on the social media site.
Okay.
So we did start working on that since we have these apps into submission. Now that we have these apps into submission, now we're focused on the social media side and getting that ready to go. So as soon as these ones come out of submission, we can punch in the next one, get that through, and then just keep rolling. So we'll have our answer to Facebook. As soon as that one's done, we'll roll that one in. Then we'll start on our answer to Twitter. So yeah, we are one after another, just going after it. I have received a large sum of money for advertising on our platforms, and all of that money is being dumped directly into building all of this. We have over 35 big time developers that are not tied to any company here in the United States that are actually working on it. So
these are global companies.
Well, if you're going to build an app inside the United States that even comes close to competing with Facebook, it costs you almost $1.5 billion.
Wow. Wow.
So I mean for me it doesn't make sense. So
yeah, no.
I would gladly outsource it to people that are very good at what they do and get all the source code written and everything. Make it similar in every way, shape, and form, and pay $200,000-300,000.
Yes.
That's the price differences. I mean, you're looking at over $1 billion or a couple $100,000.
Yes. I don't have a spare billion sitting around to work with. So
yeah, neither do I. So, but yeah, John, I will have to reach out and chat with you about that because we need to figure out how to. There are some people here that do not have it, don't have the ability to. They don't understand it, so we might have to get an owner's manual. So.
Okay. All right, Proud. It's been 30 minutes. Hope you're home. Safe. Hope you're safe.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, we are not sitting here just collecting money and crying about things. We're actually putting
our money where
What's that?
We're putting our money where our mouths are.
Oh, and quite honestly,
your money where your mouth is. The rest of us can do that too. Pennies count, people. Good.
Yeah, and I'm for me, it's all about where do we go? How do conservatives get out there in a way that's uniform?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, I mean, I was looking at impressions alone just off the YouTube analytics, and we had 76 million impressions over the last week on YouTube, even though I was dead. And now that we're going back live, we're still increasing the followership, and people are sharing the content. They're talking about stuff that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I might not be the smoothest talker. I may go and stutter a little bit, but I'm very careful about what I do
Mm-hmm.
in regards to how we present certain things. And that's the same way with the social media platforms, with this YouTube alternative, with all of this,
Mm-hmm.
because everything is
Meticulously done, which is the salvation of the platforms, because if it's done properly, um, all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed, then it makes it significantly more difficult for them to remove
taken
you. Is
down.
that correct? Mm-hmm.
And servers do matter,
Mm-hmm.
which is why we went out and bought several servers. Well, I did several server banks that have over a petabyte or over 1,000 terabytes each.
That's fantastic.
So I might just be a little bit invested into it.
You are. You
And
are. You are.
when I'm looking at like Mike Lindell, he I mean he has a lot more money to play with,
Mm-hmm.
but when I went into it, I went in eyes wide open. I watched what other people were doing,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm like, okay, if people are announcing it like 6 months ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
and every ad that you hear, everything that you put out is, hey, this is coming up, this is coming up, this is coming up, this is coming up, and it's the same thing. You're going to get targeted.
Yeah.
And for me to literally go from not having a single platform that I own or a single server that I physically own anywhere in the United States, anywhere in the world,
Mm-hmm.
when you go from not having anything to having a full YouTube alternative stood up in 9 days,
Mm-hmm.
that's saying
That's
something.
amazing. That is. That is fantastic work. It
So
is absolutely amazing.
I have a good team.
Yeah, you do.
So, but we have to work at everything. There's not something that's going to it's not something that's going to be easy. Make sure it's protected. Yeah, it's double and triple wrapped in condoms. No, just kidding.
Are we allowed to put that kind of thing on that kind of content on the new site?
Yeah, no. It does. We do have cybersecurity experts that are involved with the development that we of the platform and everything that we're doing, because quite honestly, I seen the problems that Frank Speech has had,
Mm-hmm.
and I told myself that I was going to do everything I could to make sure that we could mitigate those problems sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So, but I am a lot invested, just a little bit. I mean, it's It's just money. We can make more, right?
I was gonna say it's kind of money in your marriage at this point, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
But
a little more than money.
we
Okay.
got the submission in, and I'm waiting for an email saying that we've cleared.
Okay. Yes. Is
Squarely.
that to Squirrely? Okay.
I saw that, and I actually had CanCon reach out to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I explained the situation to him, and yeah, he understood. So as soon as everything is done, I just shoot him a text and say, "Hey, let's light her up."
Mm-hmm. Open the floodgates.
Yep. As soon as we get it through submissions and all that, and I get the email saying that we've been approved, they will immediately put it to the app store, and you can go ahead.
And yeah, Squirrely, I want your videos back up because I've been making my way, trying to make my way through the Follow the Cabal series that you've got on there. I've seen like the first 9 or so. I think I watched 2 of them on yours, the maybe 10 and 11, or maybe it was 9 and 10. Either way, I really want to see them. And your little video collection is like the only source I can find for them. I was so glad to see them up there. I want them back. Patriot Lady, no, my job was many, many, many moons ago. Why, what's up?
I'm just
Yeah, we got another one.
yeah.
You are a good video poster.
I'm gonna deal with this real quick.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, that's what it was the sequel to the Fall of the I watched the Fall of the Cabal. I actually watched the sequel to the Fall of the Cabal first, which sounds a little strange. Does BitChute have all 17? Okay, good. But I'd found the sequel first, and I watched. I think there were I could find like 5 or 6, and I watched those, and then I ended up finding a couple more episodes and watched those, but I hadn't been able to find any more. And so after I'd like exhausted all my sequel to the Fall of the Cabals, I was like desperately searching YouTube and then other places for anything Fall of the Cabal, and I found the actual Fall of the Cabal and watched that. It was good. It was really good. I liked it. Hey, Jimmy.
Well,
how you doing?
Welcome, Jimmy.
Squirrely, do you mean they've only completed making 10 of the videos, or do you mean you have 10? King Me, you tried. I think I don't understand. I must have missed something. I'm gonna go back up real quick. I want to know what Scott McKay's. Oh. Group is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyways, I dealt with that issue.
Okay, cool.
But
Ariel, I'm glad you're listening. Don't post anymore. Just drive. We want you to get home safe. You have to start choosing the author's name. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, Scott McKay. Well, isn't Scott McKay? I mean, he's the Street Fighter, right? Maybe that's their style. I don't know. They're protesting in DC. Was that a scheduled protest, or is that something that they just sort of like?
It's a scheduled. It's a scheduled thing.
Okay, I did not know about that.
Yeah. Well, there's the International Women's Day March.
That's
where all the women are walking around in the vagina hats.
with vagina hat. Yeah. Okay. When you take your and you put it on your head.
What's that?
I said when you take your and you put it on your head, you've lost all credibility.
So you can't say the P word.
Uh-huh.
But
okay.
You can say the V word.
Mm-hmm. I would think. Can you say like VJJ? Notice how I separated that, so it would be. Or can you only use the actual word because it is a legitimate body part name?
What's that?
Oh, that's weird. Anyway,
no,
okay. So, for all of my friends and people who are, I do want to clarify this and like to actually get on a soapbox about this just a little bit. National or International Women's Day, that's ridiculous. Unless you're going to have an International Men's Day, you don't need an International Women's Day. That's stupid. That is, number one, it's stupid. Number two, it is complete inequality. If we want to be equal to men, okay, so be equal to men. Be whatever you are, but don't ask for special treatment because you are what you are. Don't need a day to celebrate yourself because you're such a fantastic being just by being a woman. That's not a reason to celebrate. No more as being a man, a reason to celebrate. That's inequality. That's not equality. And my understanding is that this International Women's Day is sort of a bastion of the left, of the liberal agenda. Okay. All right. So if women's like equality for women is very important to you, be equal. Don't ask for special treatment because you're a girl. That's not being equal. That's being precious. Stop being precious. There are plenty of reasons to celebrate women, but there are plenty of reasons to celebrate men, and we don't celebrate them.
No, it's just toxic masculinity. Yeah.
Well, there is such a thing as toxic masculinity. Yeah, I don't have I really need to order one of those because I still have my nephew like got me this for Christmas a couple of years, like Christmas 2017, and I have had it every single day since then. Yeah. You can see half the stickers are peeling off.
That's why people aren't seeing me drinking the. That's why people aren't seeing me drinking my Pepsis because the Pepsis are in here.
That's you still get your fix, but we avoid like shamelessly plugging a company that we're not necessarily fond of. Good thinking. Absolutely.
I heard such a thing as toxic leftism. There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah. I would argue that leftism is by nature toxic. You cannot exist in the sphere of leftism without also engaging in toxicity.
Have you looked at some of those? I hate saying it, but I'm a guy, so it's natural. You look at some of these women who are like on the left side, like far left, and let's just say 30-year-old women. They look like they're almost 50. because they're so angry all the time.
I was gonna say you can't carry that much hate around inside of you all the time and have it not sort of seep out through your pores or something. Hey
I
DT, how
mean,
you doing?
there's a reason. There's a so
Really agreed.
Lightfoot, Mayor Lightfoot.
Mayor Lightfingers, yes. I tell you what, yes, she does. I don't know how old the woman is, but I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily want to trash another human being based on their appearance, but you know what? I don't have to trash another human being based on their appearance. Not when we're talking about Mayor Lightfoot. Her actions are incredibly crappy enough that I don't. Why would I even go to her appearance? She's such a crappy human being that it doesn't matter what she looks like. She looks like the person she is. Maybe God gave her that face on purpose because he knew what she was looking out like.
But
Maybe.
okay,
It got
so
stuck that way.
Christy Nome is she's gonna be if she's not a grandma yet, but she's going to be very, very shortly.
Mm-hmm.
So she's mid-50s,
Mm-hmm.
and you cannot. I mean, you stand next to her in in public.
Mm-hmm.
She looks like she may be 35,
Mm-hmm.
even though she's in her 50s.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely crazy. Her husband's the same way, just down to earth, kind, compassionate. They'll sit down, have coffee with you,
Mm-hmm.
eat dinner.
Some people are just blessed. But some people, here's the thing, some people are just straight up blessed. Some people live with a goodness and a kindness in their hearts that makes it so that I firmly believe that makes it so that their bodies don't experience the stress of carrying around that many toxic negative emotions, and therefore their cortisol levels are lower, therefore they are not aging faster.
This is something that I found was pretty humorous and a little bit scary for the couple. But the FBI raided the wrong house in Alaska with a Capitol police officer. Were you in Washington D.C. on the January 6th? Yeah, we attended the Trump rally there, and we left right afterwards. Well, what's this picture of this? It looks like this picture right here shows that you were standing right there. That lady doesn't look anything like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty humorous when I read the article. I was just, by the time I got to the end, I was sickened that they couldn't tell the difference.
Right. I know.
It's humorous.
And that's government efficiency. Number one. But then number two, I don't think they don't care. That's government ethics. And they'll keep going even though it's staring them in the face that they're wrong. That's
you know where the other lady that supposedly was the one that lived in that picture. You know where she lives? Washington, D.C. They didn't have to travel too far. They just have to pull their heads out of their butts.
It's the taxpayers' dime.
No, yeah. Well, and they get these nice executive jets, G6. They fly coast to coast in. They don't have to fly civilian airliners.
Proud, I don't think we're talking about Michigan. I mean, we aren't talking about Michigan. We may have been at some point in the past 5 minutes and I didn't realize it, but I don't think we're talking about Michigan at all.
No, it's over. It's over in the chat.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
Do what the Democrats
Stick
do.
to that story too.
Do what the Democrats do.
Mm. What's
That
up?
is exactly what the Democrat playbook
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Obfuscate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had
Place the
a.
blame on other people because nobody. You can never take the blame yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I had a conversation on Facebook with some guy the other day. It was stupid, and I was being stupid and triggered, and I saw his stupid comment, and I was on there like, well, I'm gonna. But he the original comment was something about it was about John Kerry being a traitor, and then someone who is blue got on there and was just all about, so try him in the media and whatever. Don't even bother to wait for evidence. And I was like, why not? We did George Floyd's Derek Chauvin that way. We tried the whole case in the media. Didn't matter what the evidence showed. Didn't matter anything about that. We try them on a whim in the media, according to whatever the media narrative is, and it doesn't matter if the ME report showed that he had a lethal dose of fentanyl in his system, and it doesn't matter if the ME report said he had no airway trauma or signs of mechanical asphyxiation. It doesn't matter. We tried him in the public, and then the court proceedings were just like a little sham.
Well, and that's why I think it's going to get overturned.
It should be. And here's the thing: they're like
procedure wise, they should have filed a motion for change of venue, and it should have been granted.
It should have been. It should have been. And here's the thing: if he took a lethal dose of fentanyl and there was no airway trauma, it means no one is on trial. A murder didn't occur. If you overdose on fentanyl, you suffocate without anyone touching any part of your body.
Because your diaphragm stops working.
Exactly. So I was like, he was tried for a murder that didn't occur. I mean, I don't know anything about Derek Chauvin. I don't know whether he's a good cop or a bad cop.
Let's just put it this way. He's used deadly force before.
Mm-hmm.
In multiple cases, of which he has never been found or even tried for. Used deadly force on a 14-year-old black boy that he is now getting ready to be charged with because if they call it murder, they better do it. But so now they're going to try him on the federal side for hate crimes.
Sure, try him for hate crimes. Maybe he's guilty of hate crimes, but you can't be guilty of a murder that didn't occur. You can be guilty of being a dirtbag. You can be guilty of hate crimes. You want to put him in prison for hate crimes and he's guilty of hate crimes? Go for it. But hate crimes have to occur for someone to be guilty of doing them. A murder has to occur for someone to be guilty of doing it. There was no murder. He died from fentanyl. And that's what the ME report showed. So, the creation of a lie.
But did you hear what happened to the ME?
Mm-mm.
So now that ME that testified for Derek Chauvin in the trial is under investigation.
Of course. Absolutely, of course.
And he's potentially looking at hate crime charges as well.
Because what he presented his findings.
You start doing that, and you will not have a single expert witness that will ever take the cases. I've went to the stand multiple times
Mm-hmm.
as an expert witness when it comes to medical traumas and medical emergencies. That's I was a duly qualified expert witness, and you couldn't pay me enough money in this time to even come close to it.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Agree. And that kind of protection for an expert witness is supposed to be built into the system, just the way the Supreme Court is supposed to be protected from legislation so that they can make unbiased determinations about cases. They're supposed to be protected from making legislation. They're not supposed to be stepping outside of their bounds to make legislation that is purposefully removed from their sphere so that they can make unbiased judgments. An expert witness is there to provide their findings. They don't draw any conclusions about the value of the person. They draw conclusions about the value of the findings.
And Floyd's family said they wanted another autopsy with somebody they picked.
Yes, I heard about that. And the person that they picked found everything that they wanted to find.
But of course.
But they're not the medical examiner.
But Sam, the person was a qualified medical examiner.
Mm-hmm.
That is a fact. But how much money did they raise to pay for this funeral and all that?
Yes. Slightly off topic. What's the deal with the funeral? There's something about a gold.
He had a gold casket.
But then when they were burying him, the casket wasn't gold. What? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know anything about that, but
I'm
looking at the amount of money that was raised, how much this guy is a for hire. This guy is a for hire medical examiner.
Yeah.
So I mean, the guy, you could pay this guy anything as much money as he asks, and he'll say whatever the hell.
Right. He's not impartial.
He's on your dime.
Right. Yeah. If he is paid to do something for the defendant or for the prosecution, he is no longer impartial. The point of having a county medical examiner is that they are impartial. They examine all the bodies. They don't have a monetary stake in it. They're there on salary. If you pay someone on a case-by-case basis, that is the very definition of having a conflict of interest.
And their report would not qualify. I mean, it should not qualify if the state was going off of the independent expert that the family hired, and they're going off of his to file the case, then yeah, every prosecution would be immediately won.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing: the ME an ME does not find levels of fentanyl. An ME may find physical trauma, mechanical trauma, or not find mechanical trauma.
But they do send
a lab. Jeez. It is a lab that draws the serum levels and sends them and analyzes them. It is not the medical examiner. So the medical examiner, yes, the lab values are a part of the report, but those lab values aren't from the medical examiner. They're also from a second source that is also independent and impartial, and that is the lab. The lab, it just gives you the numbers. Now, as a medical professional, we can look at that and say, Jesus, I'm sorry. We can say, gosh, that is a lethal dose of fentanyl. And that value does not change. And just because another lab draws it, they can't look at that and say, well, gosh, that's a normal level of fentanyl. No, it's not. That is a lethal dose of fentanyl, and I don't care what country you're in or what county you're in. That is. That is not objective, or that is not subjective data. That is objective value. So it's just the whole thing. It's very shady the way it was done. It is very shady. And in the U.S., you have to prove guilt beyond
Not by your
the
guilt.
reasonable
Not
doubt.
by a guilty plea.
What?
In the U.S., the prosecution has to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes.
We can't buy a guilty verdict unless the prosecution is going to go with you and allow those kind of travesties to happen.
Oh, and it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was, I mean, I would call it a miscarriage of justice, but it wasn't. It was an abortion of justice.
I wouldn't even put the word justice in the whole thing.
Yeah. Now, again, I am not saying that Chauvin is a good guy. I don't know anything about that. I'm not saying that he's not a dirtbag and doesn't belong.
I'll say that Chauvin's a dirtbag because he is.
Yeah.
And I know people who know him personally and they can't stand him. And they said as much before this whole thing with George Floyd. So I'm not worried about it.
Yes.
Do I think he deserves to have what happened to him happen to him? No. Which is why I think it's going to get overturned in a superior court and somebody's going to be eating crow because
it needs to be overturned purely on the principle of the fact that it is a guilty. The finding was a guilty verdict for a crime that did not occur. They were prosecuting an imaginary crime. The man lost his life, yes, but he did not lose his life in a murder scenario. Therefore, you cannot prosecute someone for murder if murder did not occur. Now, you want to prosecute him for a hate crime, for sitting on a guy's neck for 9 minutes? Go for it. Put him in prison for that because he deserves that. But this was not a murder. And the reason that it is being called a murder, it's not that Derek Chauvin deserves to not be in prison. It's that they need George Floyd to be sainted. And George Floyd does not get sainted and does not get an entire community. And by community, I mean a nationwide community to rally around him and what he stands for, stood for, what they want him to stand for, if he is not a martyr, and if he is not a victim, and if he, did I say George Floyd a murderer? I meant a martyr. If he's not a victim, that's what this was about. This was about turning a man who overdosed on fentanyl into someone that other people of color could relate to and rally around. And that's despicable.
California, they are releasing 76,000 criminals, felons. Yeah. I read that. I feel bad for anybody that's in California. Holy smokes. I hit a wall.
Are these like low-level criminals? Or
no, they're violent.
Yeah, because
from San Juan and a couple of those nice, fun prisons. Some people don't belong in certain fields. Yeah, that is true. But no, we are doing what we can to get the platform up and get those apps up for everybody. So bear with us, guys. It is just a slight hiccup in what we had going on. But hopefully very shortly we'll get that up and ready. We're running at 50 minutes.
Really?
And
I feel like 50 minutes. I think when I run my mouth, it feels like shorter time.
so some people are there are some people that are talking about it being an immigration protest, Patriot Lady.
I doubt California has any sort of
And then
permission.
there's some that are saying it's International Women's Day March, where the women go around, march around in their.
The vagina hat day. No. No.
I thought that was the day after Inauguration Day.
I never, ever, ever. There is no day of the year where it is inappropriate to put a vagina on your head and go out in public. If you want to do that in your own bedroom, if that works for you, go ahead. But not in God bless it, not in public. Plus, what? A vagina on your head? What? That's terrible.
Californians can carry? No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Do I think it's going to be done? Arizona pools, the audit is scheduled to run until the 14th. They said it's going to be, they will complete it on time. So I am catching that.
I'm not gonna. That's a funny comment, and I'm trying to like pretend I didn't see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Conversations that. Oh yeah.
Oh. We're not allowed to have those conversations anymore. I miss them though. I really do. They're fun. It's funner when Jason's here and you can see him turn red just a little bit.
Oh yeah. So one of these days we're going to definitely be
a revival of the Johnson and Johnson tribe.
Yeah. So I was thinking about actually trying to figure out a way to set some comedians up and just do a roast session.
Oh gosh.
And actually be the launch of the new app.
Okay.
Once the apps are ready to release.
We better be ironclad before we do that. I'm just saying. Because if we're gonna wouldn't that be great? Day one, have like 40 minutes of footage, every second of which can get us kicked off.
Oh yeah. Well, and we'll figure out a way to do it.
Okay.
Will I air it on Facebook or YouTube or anything?
Yeah, just the once. Yeah.
Just have them make sure it's dropped as soon as it's off. But yeah. Oh yeah. And
we need to start hashtagging stuff like hashtag.
You know what? I will give you access to the back end of YouTube, and you can go and hashtag all you want.
No, I mean like for anything that goes up on Facebook that we have to immediately take down, we should hashtag it like find it at Fullstream.
Yeah.
And that way,
is there live streaming on Gab? No, I actually paid for Gab TV to actually be able to stream on Gab TV, and sent them a message. They said, "Oh, we don't do live streaming there." Yeah, we have some people that go over on Facebook and watch too. So we do it for our friends and the people who are still inside Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Our Facebook page is growing like crazy.
I'm not having really.
We have 1,800 follows or something like that.
Yeah, last time I was on there, I think we had like 300.
Well, you can't see the follows.
Oh, okay. Then maybe I saw 300 likes. I don't know.
Yeah, we're up over almost 600. So
That is really cool.
I mean, it just keeps growing.
Mm-hmm. Well, good.
Day
He's-
after day after day, people are sharing.
Mhm.
People are talking.
Good. We need to grow like a cancer on Facebook. Because Facebook is a cancer on society.
It'll be nice once we have our own.
They will.
So, guys,
Patriot lady, that's good.
yep,
Cen-
censored one time, and from there I censored them. Perfect. Guys,
That's
enjoy your
appropriate, yeah.
weekend.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get off here and actually spend some time with my family. This is actually the first afternoon that I've had off in a while, and it's 85 degrees outside.
Yay.
So yeah, it's gorgeous. No live stream tonight, unless
And wow.
we get a wild hair up our butt
Mhm.
and actually decide to do one. That's
I mean, it's already 3.
yeah.
Let's just take Saturday night off. It's date night.
No, none Sunday, and then Monday morning we'll hit it again at 10 o'clock.
Sounds good.
So, guys, as always, you got a pen and a microphone. Use them. The silent majority can no longer stay silent. God bless you guys. God bless the United States of America. And we will see you guys on Monday.
Bye.